Greetings, Judah. DFG are getting in flight. Hey guys, I just want to take a little time and share something that through studying what you might ask, our history book, uh, a revelation came unto me. And it was so many times that we as the people of Elohim, Israel, Judah, and the stranger, near and far, not many of them. Many times when we talk about Elohim being with us, being among us, that He is our Elohim and we are His children. You know, the thought came to me is how many of us actually knows what that actually looks like? What does that entail? Is it just a fancy saying, just a religious statement? Is it just a feel good, you know, utopian type of, excitement? I can boast, I can brag about it, and therefore, I got it going on. What does it mean? Is it more than just symbolic? Does it actually have teeth to that? So when we go and say that I belong to Elohim, and Elohim says I'm his, and I say I belong to Elohim, that, I guess, profession, goodness gracious, that profession, can't get it out. I'm professing, that professing, does it imply a stoppage of anything else? Am I good now? Now I can go back, chill, and just feel comfortable that, I've done all the legwork. I've accomplished what I set out to accomplish, and therefore I'm good. And now I have a relationship with Yah. Does that describe what it means to some of you all? Or have you really peeled back the layers and asked yourself the question, is it more to that statement? And that's what I want to get into with you right now, my sisters and brothers. Because there's one thing you have to remember. You should remember. You want to remember. That if you give to Elohim, if you make your body a resource for Elohim, always know that the glory, the Shekinah glory, the powerful glory, the shadow that can walk by a man, who's crippled, and make that man stand up and be whole. The Shekinah glory of Elohim that can cause you to lay hands on someone who is disease ridden, and that disease will remove itself from their presence. That kind of glory. That type of glory from Elohim comes with more than just faith. I heard someone talking the other day, and I was in a conversation just yesterday about, faith in the faith. And they were explaining that, what does that mean, faith in the faith? You know what I'm saying? Because many times when we hear faith in the faith, it's easy to believe that it's just, just a statement. If all that goes, sorry about that, but it's just a statement that says, I believe and nothing will change my belief. That I'm locked in, and I know the power of faith because I believe in that faith. And as we were talking about it and discussing it, it became extremely clear to us that having faith in faith is not the same thing as having faith in the word of Elohim. It's not the same thing as saying, I believe what he says, regardless of what I think. I'll say that to you again. It means I believe in what he says. I don't care what I think. Now that might sound like an oxymoron to some of you guys, or the word "see" might be sound counterproductive. But in truth, that's the kind of belief that you have to have if you want to see the movement of Elohim. Especially in these wicked times that we're living in. You have to have the type of belief that says, I don't care if I believe this is impossible for me to do. I don't care. I don't care. But this I do know. It's not too hard for Elohim. See, that's having faith in the power of Elohim. It's not having faith in the faith. It's not that, again, that utopian, A Course of Miracles. That stupid ass book of witchcraft and sorcery that sold so well years ago. Your best life now. Remember that silliness. That was having the faith in the faith. Really, having faith in the faith is almost saying, I just believe in me. I know me so well that I just believe in me, and because I believe in me, I can do anything. But God, they take that particular verse out of the book of Philippians. I can do all things through Christ, with strengthening me, and they built a gospel on that. You can't do a damn thing with Christ who strengthens you if there's not a behavior or an action that ties into your belief. Having faith in the faith is not enough, is what I'm trying to say to you. And many of us are not seeing the power of Elohim. Many of you are not seeing the power of Elohim. Let me be clear. Many of you, and I would say us, but I'm no longer us because I believe in the power of Elohim because I've seen the power of Elohim. And I trusted the power of Elohim, and he has come true. And what I was stating just a moment ago, just so you say, well, you sound like you got off your message. No, I'm not. This is a journey. This is a curving road. If you don't hang on or follow along, then you're going to get tossed to the side, and rightly so. You have to want it, you have to be passionate about it, and you have to be willing to give your everything to understand it. And so what I was saying was the Shekinah glory of Elohim and his power to heal and to rid things, to remove things. It's the same thing that he can do for your loved ones, and he'll allow you to be able to do for your loved ones. And I'm not talking about those who are old enough to make a decision, those who are old enough to have clarity around who Elohim is, but don't choose to. You can pray for them, but your prayers are going to be sort of like Job's prayers. Okay? You remember Job's praying for his kids? How many of you guys remember the story of Job? Can anybody tell me what happened to Job's kids that he prayed for? So Job was praying for his kids in case they may have did something to trespass Elohim. Go back and read the first couple of chapters of the book of Job. And Job said, let me make these sacrifices just in case one of my children may have done something to offend Yah. Now you would think, well, that's more than enough. You can pray for your children and Yah gonna fix it. Well, if you know the story, if you read the book and weren't sitting there letting somebody teach and preach pieces of it to tell little fancified stories, to lure you into easy seizure, in other words, pick your pockets, then you would know that all that praying that Job didn't do anything for his children. As a matter of fact, they all died. Yeah, you heard me right. All that praying he did for his sins, his children's sins, his children being sinners, all that praying went on deaf ears if you say, well, what was the end result of that prayer? Did Yah answer his prayers? Because for Yah to have answered Job's prayers, his children would not have died. Again, go back and read the book. Now, am I saying, again, for clarity purpose, that Yah will not move for you on behalf of your family for you? That's not what I'm saying. If you have little ones and you're standing, in the cleft of the rock for those little ones, then yes, Yah is going to cover those little ones. No question about it. The work that I do, at least that Yah allows me to do, the passion that I have for y'all to allow me to do the works that I do. Let's say it that way. When I say works, guys, I'm not talking about somehow or another I'm sitting on the top of Mount Sinai, looking out and saying Mount Sinai, and looking out and saying, "Oh Elohim, look at me." No, my ass is slipping down that damn mountain like most of you guys are slipping down that mountain, trying to get up. But the difference that may be between me and many is that I keep getting up and going back and trying to climb that mountain. I'm not satisfied in the fact that I tried and I tried and I tried and I'm tired of trying. He must not hear me. I'm not satisfied with that. So every time I slip, I'm getting back up. The book says if a righteous man fall, Yah will lift him up 7 times. If a righteous man falls, Yah will lift him up. So why is a righteous man falling? If he's so righteous, why is he or she falling? Think about that. Because Yah's not looking at your shortcomings. He's looking at your heart. He's looking at your desire, your willingness to do whatever it is necessary for you to be considered his son, his daughter, and for you to be able to profess him as your Elohim. Are you following yet? Now let me give you some book to back up this. Now we're going to go to the book of Jasher. 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 And I know some of you say, where's that book at? Hidden from you, but not hidden from many of us. As a matter of fact, if you haven't taken that stimulus money, because I understand now the book is available again. And if you haven't taken that stimulus money and went and purchased this, then you shouldn't know about Jasher or Enoch or any of the other books. Esther, the role of Esther, you shouldn't know any of that. Because obviously you think your resources are better utilized elsewhere. But for those of you who genuinely care and those who want to know, then you got to follow along. You just can't take someone's word for it. The book tells us that every word be established by 2 or 3 witnesses. Well, if you don't have something to validate or something to how you say, I guess, inspect what you expect. Inspect what you expect. If you have nothing to validate what it is you're hoping for, then how do you know you even have it? How do you know that you're not being deceived? So this book helps you that this word has precepts, line upon line, to help that. So you need to invest in the book of life of our ancestors so that you can better understand what Yah is saying to the church, the little c. In other words, the believers, those of us who are in the way. Again, Israel, Judah, and the little stragglers, strangers here, near and far, who have come to their right mind and have denounced, their paganism and their superiority and their arrogance, their culture, and every other detestable thing that the Gentiles and the heathens embrace. Them. Tiny bit of it. But for us to be able to profess that, Elohim is with us and we are with him, and that we are his children and we are his sons and his daughters, then your word alone is not enough. And we have been misled to believe to the contrary. And I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, it's just not the truth. When Elohim decided to fulfill the promise of our ancestors, there was some work that they had to do to obtain those promises. Right now, in our times, in these evil days, for us to find, I guess you would call, the place of preservation, so that we can be reserved and preserved by Elohim, you're going to have to take some action. There's some things that you're going to have to do. Your words alone is not going to cut it. And again, we've talked about this before, but I want to remind you again, all this talk about y'all know me, now y'all got, look, if you have nothing to back that up outside of what any heathen out here is doing, all the same things you were doing, or the things you do right now that pretty much says you ain't going to change, you're not even going to consider change, you ain't going to take no steps, you're not going to take any action, you're not going to resist anything, then you're deceived. So there's two ways that the enemy can deceive you. He can deceive you by getting you to believe a lie. Let me say it again. He can deceive you by getting you to believe a lie. One more time. The enemy can deceive you by getting you to believe a lie. That's one way. And then the other way, he can deceive you by getting you to believe that the truth is a lie. Again, he can deceive you by getting you to believe that the truth is a lie. Yes, he can deceive you by getting you to believe that the truth is actually a lie. And for many of you, if you want to know the truth about it, that's where your deception coming in play. Because you hear the truth, but because your heart is hard, because you're caught in traditions of man, you're caught in religion, you're caught up into church, churchianity, Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, all of that ism garbage. There's no ism with us. There's no schism with us. There's only a oneness with us as a people under the authority of Elohim. But when you're walking and you're interfacing with El, he's going to require some sacrifice. Yes, he's going to require some sacrifice. And that sacrifice that's going to be required is you resisting your own desires, your own temptations, your own righteous way of believing for the true way, the ascribed way, Elohim's way. And you can never know that way except you open up your heart to hear, open up your eyes to see, and put a yoke on your body to resist the temptations that this world is influencing many of your loved ones to embrace, that's ultimately going to have them have their asses burning in hell. Yes. So in essence, if you belong to Elohim and Elohim belongs to you, and you're saying that he is your El and you are his sons and his daughters, then there needs to be evidence of such that goes beyond your words. Now let me show you what happened. Let me give you a classic example of what I'm talking about. Now you ready? Praise Yah. Let's get into it. The book of Jasher, chapter 91. This is the last chapter in the book of Jasher. At this time of the death of Joshua, the children of Canaan, these them damn wicked ass Africans, the children of Canaan were still in the land, and Israel resolved to drive them out. And the children of Israel asked of Yahuwah, saying, who shall go up for us to Kenyans to fight against them? And Yeshua said, Judah shall go up. Now, I want you to stop and reflect on that. Couldn't Elohim or Yahuwah say, I'm going to go up? Because that's what religion has taught you. Yah got it. Yah going to take care of it. All I need is faith in Yah. He going to do the rest. See, religion, again, it was used to seduce the people. It's witchcraft. It's sorcery. It is manipulation. In essence, it's a con game for the simple-minded. And I was one of them. So, what can I say? Maybe you still one of them. What do you have to say? I pray and hope that as you're following along, through these teachings, that you're getting stronger and emboldened, and you're getting more clarity of thought, and you're beginning to have the smoke screen or the veil removed from your hearts and from your eyes and from your ears, and now you're understanding, hey, they were cheating me out of my inheritance in the church. They were robbing me from my namesake at the church. They were hindering me from my destination at the church. But when they asked this question to Yahuwah, who would go? Israel said, who's going to go? The tribes collectively say, who's going to go and fight these wicked ass Canaanites, these wicked ass Africans, these heathens? Who's going to go fight them? I mean, after all, they had us under oppression for 400 years. And it's just so you know, this particular historical lesson is right before Yah was about to deliver us or fulfill for us the promise of the land in milk and honey, the land of milk and honey in Canaan. So now they're about to go, and they're asking Elohim, are you going out in front of us? Are you going to be behind us? What needs to happen here? And you know what Elohim told them? Judah is going to go. Who is Judah? The so-called Negro here in America and scattered abroad. But mainly the Negro right here in America, or the Americas. But mostly in North America. That's Judah. That's why you're so bold right now. That's why you're probably the most aggressive people on the planet, Judah. Can nobody hold you down? Nobody can hold you back. You know it and I know it. Except for yourself and Elohim when you're in your right mind. Save us from ourselves so many times. But Yah knows who we are as a tribe or as a nation. And he loves us and he trusts us because we're the people of praise. What kind of praise? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and I'm going to prove it to you. And that word Christ should really be put on the side. I can do all things through Elohim that gives me strength. And then, what else? Praise Yah. Then, what else? And I could go on and talk about what else, but I'll get too far off the subject. I talk about witnessing to your family, witnessing to a stranger, to the neighbor, standing up, taking the heat for your belief, etc. But again, that's not the lesson right now. Not what Yah is telling me. Oh, sort of, but not. So Israel asked of Yahuwah, saying, who shall go up for us to Canaan to fight against them? And Yahuwah said, Yehudah, or Judah shall go up. And the children of Judah said to Simeon, go up with us into our lot, and we will fight against the Canaanites, and likewise will we go up with you in your lot. So the children of Simeon went out with the children of Judah. Simeon was one of the older brothers. Matter of fact, I think Simeon was right a little older than Judah. I think Judah was right under Simeon. I think they had the same brother and mother, if my memory serves me correctly. I want to say it was Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. All had the same mother. I think Leah was their mother, and obviously Jacob was their father. And Simeon, that's those islanders. And I'm going to tell you, those islanders, they got a lot of issues within themselves in terms of their drive. You know what I'm saying? Their work ethic. They seem to be chilling and more interested in, taking it easy, smoking trees than, really getting out there and doing more than that. Hanging out with the ladies. Y'all know the whole story there. But I'm going to tell you something about them islanders. If you want a warrior, if you about to go into a fight, go get you a St. Lucian. Go get you St. Martin. Someone from St. Martin. Someone from Jamaica. Haiti. Dominica. Talking about the melanin ones, not the damn, confused ones. The mulattoes who believe they're white. Not them. Go get the ones who have that melanin in them. and see will they not fight. And so our people always understood Simeon. And Simeon always understood us. Because Simeon said, well, I need your faith and I'm going to give you my energy. And we're going to have, we're going to barter with the two. And we're going to win. And that was, again, that's a old thing. And even right now, and a lot of you ladies know, all right, when it comes down to these Caribbean, these islanders, you guys get all googly-eyed and whatever. You know what I'm saying? and again, that's not to take away that from your brothers here. But, we noticed. Just in case you don't think we noticed. While we start talking about going to these girl trips to Jamaica and St. Thomas and, all the places, we be looking at you kind of like, no, you're not. But anyway. See, I digress. Come on back, DFG. And the children of Judah said to Simeon, go up with us in our line. We will fight against the Canaanites, and likewise we will go with you in your line. And so the children of Simeon went with the children of Judah. And the children of Judah went up and fought against the Canaanites. So Yahuwah delivered the Canaanites into the hands of the children of Judah, and they smote them. 10,000 men. They killed 10,000 of them. Now, again, remember I was talking about earlier? Yah got you, you with Yah. But does Yah is there an expectation that go along with that? Well, here's a classic example. The people, they believed in Elohim. And Elohim said, they're my children. And I have a promise for you. But you're going to have to go out and you're going to have to walk this promise out. You can't sit on your ass in some church pew, walking around with a Bible in your hand, talking about I'm a witness to you about the name of Jesus, and think that's going to be enough. Much, much more is required to you. You have to be willing to serve and to stand unto death, as these men have proven. That is how your relationship. That's why Elohim say, I'm going to be with you. But I ain't fighting for you. You're going to fight for yourself. I'm just going to deliver into your hands the enemy. But you're going to have to go out there and do it. See, many of us right now, that's why we're so weak as a nation. We're saying, well, Elohim, he got me. He wants me to love everybody and be all inclusive. And they're all going to see the love of Elohim through me. Right? Even these wicked ass Asians now, they're telling us we gotta love them. And many dumbass Judah is falling for the con. They don't want to fight. They don't want to take a stand for the people. They don't want to take a stand for their lot, for their brethren. They just want to have this melancholy, utopian, everybody, this rainbow coalition. It's for everybody. And y'all's looking at you saying, I'll be damned. No, it's not. It's for you. And if your ass is not willing to go and take it, then I'm going to let them take it from you. Praise Yah. And I'm saying that to you right now. All of you who think you can just get ahead by doing nothing but believing. You're not going to get anything but self-deceit. Remember I told you there's two types of deceptions. There's a deception that gets you to believe that a lie is the truth. And there's a deception that gets you to believe that the truth is a lie. Many of you fall in that latter deception. The truth is, by setting you free means you got to go out and act. No one sets someone free. Think about it, my sisters and my brothers. If someone has to set you free, that means what? You're in some type of bondage. You're being held back. You're being restrained. You're being restrained. You're in restraint. So if you're set free, that means you're no longer in restraint, right? You're no longer being held back. So what should be your natural inclination? What? Is to move out. When you set free, when the door opens, the cage opens, you move out. You don't just stay right there. So when he says, I set you free, there should be a change. There should be something that demonstrates that freedom. That you're no longer in bondage. That you're no longer, in a place of stagnant. You're no longer stagnant. You're no longer dry rotting. That's what most of these damn Christians are doing. They just dry rotted like old wood in these goddamn churches. And their ass has been in there 30, 40 years, was piss poor when they walked in the door at 12, and piss poor when you go to bury their ass because you got to get a GoFundMe just to find a piece of wood to stick their ass in and throw them back in the ground. Dry rot. But for those of us who trust the word, those of us who understand there's a sacrifice, there's a commitment, there's an action, there's a behavior, those rules don't apply to us. For us, all things are possible, including whipping the enemy's ass, spiritually as well as physically. And we don't need the enemy to make us feel special. We don't need the enemy to look at our charity and our ability to forgive and to love and to identify us as a special people. Because they don't. They just look at us as a bunch of dumbass idiots. When will those stupid assholes ever learn that we're going to keep on kicking them in the ass? Keep on smiling, and we're going to keep kicking you in your ass as you smile. They never learn. What's that old saying? The definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? That explains Judah and Israel so goddamn well. We've been reaching out to these heathens forever. And what have these heathens returned to us other than oppression, bigotry, slandering, thievery, murder, mayhem? That's all they have reciprocated for your loving your enemies, you ass. And I'm not being vulgar, you're a dumb ass, like a jackass, like a donkey. You're good for nothing but carrying somebody else's water. You're good for nothing but carrying your enemy's water. I had idiots on this channel when I talked about the Asians. Oh, there's racism everywhere. Look, dumbass, if you have no power to influence, you have no power to hold someone back, you have no power to limit someone, you can't be a racist. How are you a racist and you can't stop anyone from access to anything? You can't even stop them from having access to you. It takes power, money, influence to be a racist. And unfortunately, Judah, Israel, most of you ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out. So quit the foolishness. You're talking like children. When you should be, what Paul said, you're acting like babes on milk when you should be at this stage in your walk, after everything that's happened to us as a people, you should be acting like an adult who can eat meat. But because you can't, you got to go back and suck your mom's tits. Men and women. You ought to be eating meat and you're still drinking milk. Because everybody in the world gets their lot, their kind, has to be first except for you. Except for our people, our nations, with the rare exception of a few. I guess, as Yah said, the elect amongst us. Verse 4. And the children of Judah went up, and they fought against the Canaanites. And so Yahuwah delivered the Canaanites into the hands of the children of Judah. You got to do something to get something. Yah's not going to give you a damn thing for sitting on your ass at church, chanting, dancing, and running and jumping, and throwing money at the pastor, and more. They had to fight, and then Yah gave them something for the fight. In other words, they had to be willing to go for broke, as they say. They had to go all in. And it's no different. Yah's the same yesterday, today, and forever. If our ancestors had to go all in to get the prize, we have to go all in to get the prize. And they fought with Adoni, Beaz, and Bezalel, and he fled from before them, and they pursued him, and they caught him. That's called resilient. You don't give up. Yah says it's yours, you keep going until you get it. But you have to make sure that it lines up with what he says he wants you to have. When it comes down to the enemy, the only thing he wants you to take from the enemy is his goddamn scalp. What do I mean by that? Let me clarify. And they pursued him, and they caught him, and they took hold of him, and they cut off his thumbs and his great toes. And Adoni said, threescore 70 kings, having their thumbs and great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table. As I have done, so Elohim has required this of me. And they brought him to Jerusalem, and where he died. In other words, they tortured his ass as he had been torturing our people. That's the same thing y'all gonna do to these heathens. Why are you following them? Why you are envying them? Why you think that you want to marry up with them, talking about, joining up with them? Like somehow or another, that's gonna put you in a better social state. Y'all say, I'm about to kill their asses. You want to die with them? And by the way, I'm killing their asses because of what they did to you. And you want to go over there and be with them? Don't you remember what happened at Mount, I think it was Arafat, when Moses went up into, I think that was Mount Arafat. And when he came down, Aaron and all of them had started building calves and all kind of idols and shit and having sexual orgies and drunkenness and just mayhem. And Moses came down and looked down there. Matter of fact, Yah told him to go down there. The people are in revolt. So when you're out there in your festivals and your carnivals and all of that wild ass living, Yah is looking at you as you're in revolt. And many of you are doing it amongst the heathens. You're right there in their clubs and in their bars and in their streets, acting a fool. Don't you know when Yah rains down terror on their asses, he gonna rain down terror on you too? When Lot and his family was spared, and Lot and his daughters were spared from Sodom and Gomorrah, they had to come from among them heathens. And those angels told them, if they stayed there in Sodom, their asses were going to die. When you're out there with them wicked fools doing that shit those heathens do, just understand, when y'all judge them at that moment, that none of us can know when, your ass is going to die right there with them. He said he's going to catch your ass out there drinking, partying, slumbering, slumming, hoeing. He said, I'm going to destroy your ass right out there with him. That's what the book said. Yeshua even warned us that he's going to come in a time that you don't think he's coming. Let's open these cities back up. That's what the heathens are saying. Let's get back to normal. That's what the heathens are saying. But one thing that they're not saying is that when that fire comes down, it's going to come down on their asses and your asses. This is the one time you ought to say, thanks but no thanks. I'm going to sit this one out. I think I'll pass. Open up your city, do whatever the hell you want to do. But as far as me and my house, we stand at the course. Thank you for separating us. Thank you for giving us a damn break. Thank you for allowing us to have some clarity of thought, having some time to rest our bodies, restore our strength, hear some of these messages. Now that you're going back into your own vomit, we're not going with you. And many of you need to make that confession to yourself. Y'all brought you out of there through COVID. Maybe for you to have some time in isolation for reflection, for understanding, to grow in your knowledge. And what are you doing? A lot of you right there planning to go right back out there with them damn heathens. And I'm telling you, this is their last hurrah. You can believe that. By the time they finish inoculating these fools and dropping chemtrails on these fools and poisoning the food and feeding them filth and garbage food that who knows where they're getting from out of these restaurants and these hotels and other places where you're eating from, your body's going to rot from inside out. I'm just telling you. But don't take my word for it. As I said, if you're really, there's two types of deception. The latter one, I'll say it to you again, is when you hear the truth and you think it's a lie. And more people are going to fall for that deception than the first. More. I pray that it's not any of you that are fellowshipping with me right now. Y'all say, well, there are 2 or 3 gathered in my name. Me, you. Say, he is in the midst. And if he's in our midst right now, he's there because there's a special request of you. His eyes are on you. Remember we read in 2 Chronicles 16:9, the eyes of Elohim go throughout the whole earth, looking to show himself strong in those whose hearts are perfect towards him. That's why you're still here, many of you. Others are here for judgment. The trolls, he gonna burn your ass up too. Have at it. Good luck. Praise Yah. Verse 6. Verse 7. And the children of Simeon went with the children of Judah, and they smote the Canaanites with the edge of the sword. You see what I'm saying, guys? Do you believe, right? Yah got you, right? Well, what you doing for Yah? Other than saying that you believe, what else are you doing for Yah? Because as you see, our ancestors had to do, and Yah was right there with them. And they still had to go out there and do it. They still had to go out there and make those sacrifices. They still had to go out there and put that work in. What work are you putting in? What changes are you making? I'm not just talking about inner changes. What outer appearance changes are you making? What do you look like now? What will you look like tomorrow? What are you going to look like 3 weeks from tomorrow, or 3 months from tomorrow, or a year from tomorrow, Yah willing? Which I can't see it. But that's just, maybe my lack of vision. But what changes? When someone who has been around you for a while, before you have decided to get serious about this, when they come back around, how will they recognize that you're not the same? That's a question. How will they recognize that you're not the same? Through your conversation? Through your walk, your behavior? To your strength to resist the temptations of this world? To your strength to say, I don't dress like that no more. Girl, you crazy. Yeah. And you a damn fool. So I think I'd rather be a little crazy for Yah than be a damn fool for this world. And I just gave you a good comeback at him. And brothers, no different for you as well. I'll tell you something, men of Elohim don't sag. They don't walk around showing their asses. Literally. Let's go on. Praise Yah. And the children of Simeon went with the children of Judah, and they smote the Canaanites with the edge of the sword. And Yahuwah was with the children of Judah, and they possessed the mountain. And the children of Joseph went to Bel-El, the same as Luz, and Yahuwah was with them. And the children of Joseph spied out Bel-El, and the watchmen saw a man going from the city. And they called him and said unto him, show us now the entrance of the city, and we will show kindness to you. See, this is the stranger. See, you strangers out there that are not Israel, Yah will have mercy on you if you are willing to have mercy and assist his people to move into their destiny, to acknowledge that they are the people and do everything in your power to support it, encourage it, and speak out, and not only profess it, but speak out to your peers, to your kind, and proclaim that the so-called Negro are the people of the book. And if necessary, turn your backs on them, because that's what the stranger did. So you say I'm a stranger and I'm grafted in, then what are you doing for the people? Are you willing to turn the back on your own kind? Are you willing to let your own kind die because you don't want to be a part of their wickedness anymore? Because that's what the stranger did. So you can't hide from this word. That's what the stranger did. That's how the stranger knew that he was in for the long haul. The stranger has to know there's no more turning back for me. I'm with them now. So many of you heathens who professing to know the book and professing to know the word, you're lying. The truth ain't in you. You're nothing but a wolf in sheep's clothing, because you would never turn on your own if it means that you have to expose them by recognizing us. You have to expose their lies by promoting our truth. It ain't in many of you. Probably not in most of you. In this case, it was only one man from an entire city. And that man showed them the entrance of the city. And the children of Joseph came and they killed everybody in that city. Remember he said, sell your coat and your purse and get you a gun or a sword. That still applies today, because you might need it. You're going to need it. One of my brothers was telling me he was at a gun store yesterday, I think the day before yesterday, said the line was around the damn block. Esau, Edom. Europeans buying guns, while Judah was sitting around waiting for the city to open up so they can go to the next barbecue, or crab ball, or crawfish ball, or whatever the hell they were doing. Amen. And that man showed them the entrance of the city, that stranger. And the children of Joseph came and killed them with the sword. And the man and his family, they sent away. And he went to Chittim, and he built a city, and he called the name thereof Luz. So all of Israel dwelt in their own cities. You want to have your own, my sisters and brothers? You want to be free? You want to be victorious? It comes with a price. You cannot give Elohim something that costs you nothing, including your ass. I'm going to say that to you again. You cannot give Elohim something that costs you nothing, even your own ass. He wants you, but he wants you in a sacrificial way, where you're willing to resist the world and be for him and those he has chosen to put before you, your people. And the children of Israel dwelt in their cities, and the children of Israel served Yahuwah all the days of Joshua and all the days of the elders, who had lengthened their days after Joshua, and who had saw the great work of Yahuwah, which he had performed for Israel. See, some of you folks, I was talking to a guy today. The guy told me we were about the same age. He said he didn't know we were the same age. The guy told me he couldn't lift things. I was helping him, lift 30-pound boxes of canned milk, and I was throwing the stuff on there and helping him out because I could tell he just didn't have it in him to do it. And we were talking, and I said, man, you got to get that energy going, right? He said, man, I wish I was young again. And this guy was younger than me. I didn't say anything to him because it wasn't about me trying to marginalize him. But see, when y'all say he will lengthen your days, that's exactly what he means. Many of you who are talking about I'm afraid to die and I don't want to be sick and that, well then get in line, get in the truth. If you're in your 40s right now, how do you want to look when you get in your 60s? Like you're still 40? Then you better get to work. You had better get to work. And all that black don't crack, go look around. They got a whole lot of cracked black. Got a whole lot of blacks on crack as well. But they got a whole lot of black that look like they're 40 and look like they're 60 and 50 that look like they're 80. So cut that silliness out. You need to go down the street to one of them damn corners and look and see who's hanging out in front of the liquor store and the convenience store and what else comes, the gas station. Go look at them. Black don't crack my ass. Yahuwah in the black don't crack. He said, I will lengthen your days. And the elders judged Israel after the death of Joshua for 17 years. And the elders also fought the battles of Israel. See, you guys sitting around there, I'm too old and I'm tired. You are pathetic. You have as much a role in this fight for our liberation, for our people to get closer, to fight against these heathens as the little youngster does. Quite frankly, as an elder, I'm going to tell you other elders who are not doing anything but sitting on your ass, you are a disgrace to all of us who are willing to fight and stand. And I don't hear no crap about your age. Let me show you something. Watch this. Praise Yah. Look. Okay? You see that? Look. Look at this. Okay? Praise Yah. I'm just saying. You see a gut? And I ain't sucking it in. Here's sucking it in. That's not sucking it in. Okay? Look at that. And this is over 50 years old. That's the power of Elohim in lengthening your day. Your age has nothing to do with your sickness. Your age has nothing to do with your inability to be active, to be youthful. It's probably your walk is the problem. You have no ability to resist a plate of pork if your life depended upon it. You have no discipline. And Yah said, I'll give you that discipline, but you got to give me you, and you got to be willing to go for it, and you got to be willing to fight for it. The scripture says, in the kingdom of heaven, the violent took it by force. The kingdom of heaven is on earth. If you want this earth to be yours, you have to be willing to fight for it. And right now, from what I can see with you, Israel and Judah, you ain't up to it. You're not up to the task. You weren't up to the task at 20. You're not up to the task at 30. You damn sure ain't up to the task at 40, many of you. And heaven forbid, once you hit 50, we might as well dig a hole, throw your ass in there, and cover it up. And go on about our business with the other people who got the energy, the zeal, the will, and the strive to live the life that Yah says you are supposed to live here and in the world to come. Now, that's an elder talking to elders, but an elder warning you, the others under me. The 40-something, 30-something, 20-somethings. You had better get up off of your ass and get to doing something. Yeah, you may be cute at 20 and 22. Let's see what you're going to look like at 52. Y'all willing. If you ain't doing a damn thing, I can show you what you're going to look. And if you're gobbling and storing any damn thing in your mouth that you can get your hands on, trust me, your body's going to be a big rot fart. A big white piece of, what do you call that? Gas, you know what I'm saying? I forgot what the flatulence. Because that's all you're going to be good for. Shitting and pissing and belching. Now, I hope that's graphic enough for you. And if some of you guys haven't taken care of yourself, but now you're hearing this truth, then you can do something. This truth is to set you free. Remember we said? When you're set free, that means things open, that you change, that you walk forward, right? Isn't that what we said? Where's your walk? Are you still sitting there like dry rot, waiting for the carpenter to come? Well, the carpenter ain't coming. And if he did come, he gonna tear your ass down and find him some new wood and put there. Yeshua said you can't put new wine in old wine skins. If you do, he said you're gonna it's just gonna burst open and the wine is gonna fall to the ground. Many of you said, I want a new thing from Elohim. I want to experience everything that Elohim has for me. But you're not willing to change anything. And Yah says, I'll be damned if I'm gonna put something good in something rotten. Your old way without Elohim is a rotten way. Your old way, the seed that you knew Elohim and did not, is rotten. Your old way that was religiosity, that you thought was Christianity, that was religiosity, it was all buffoonery, was the dung. It was shit stuff. It was a con game. Now you need to be awakened. And now, hopefully, this message is going to shock you into reality. Like some of you guys just need a good, solid punch right upside the head. Men and women. A good, solid punch. Not from another human being. Y'all just need to come and sock you. Wake you up out of your slumber. Give you some clarity of thought. Let that little ringing go off in your head. That little boom. You know when somebody knocked the shit out of you unexpectedly or expectedly. Next time make you want to look for the punch. That's what many of you need. To awaken yourself. Or this word can be that punch. This message can be that punch. But you got to do something. It's the message. The whole objective of this message is that you can't sit on your ass and talk religion. You got to get up off your ass and walk the faith, the word, the belief, the truth, as our ancestors had to do. And Yah, again, is no respecter of person. How they had to fight and put their lives on the line, going against the enemies, and you get to do just nothing. You just get to just lay around and profess the name of Jesus. And you all good. You're willingly being deceived. You are believing the lie. Willingly. That's your deception. It's a lie, and you gladly accept the lie because that lie don't require you to do anything. But see, the truth comes with sacrifice. The truth comes with change. And brothers, you too. Because many of you are walking around here with your chest all big out talk, but there is no measurement of your walk. How you say you're running fast, but you ain't going anywhere. That's many of you brothers. And how do we know? All we got to do is say, where have you been for the last 5 years or 10 years or 20 years? And I'm going to tell you something, my brothers. If you're not willing to make a change, just look where you were the last 5, 6, and 7 years, and just remember that's where you're going to be the next 5, 10, or 15 years. Y'all willing. It's only going to get worse. It's just going to be a raggedy-ass version of you if you still have some youth in you. And sisters, the same thing. Because you can be a raggedy-ass version of you. Not virgin like purity, but virgin as far as, something old that was something new. Like that old car that you had that used to be a new car, that's going to be your ass. That you always got to now, every time you got to go take it to the mechanic shop because something broken, that's going to be your ass. Right now, you're fine. You don't even need to have a warranty on the car. That's why they give you a warranty about 5 years that lasts 5 years, because they figure after 5 years, that car will last you 5 years with no trouble. But then about the 6th year, you're going to be in trouble. That's many of you who are using your youth as an excuse not to serve Elohim, to come out from amongst this world. Just so you know. Again, you might be a hottie now, but you're going to be a ragga muffin about another 20 years. You keep living the way you living. You don't turn around and get yourself together. And nobody can make you do that. There's a commandment of Yah for you to do it. Will you be obedient? As he told, when the people asked him, who gonna go to fight these heathens? Who gonna go out against this world so we can get what's rightfully ours? He said, Judah going. Praise Yah. He said, we're going. Judah is gonna go. And then we said, okay, we'll go. And then we said, you know what? Where's Simeon at? Let's take Simeon with us. See, that was our brothers. That was family. Different tribe, same nation. Amen? We don't need the enemies to fight with us. We need our people to be with us. And if there be a stranger who is willing to open up a door so that we can come and destroy their wicked asses and the heathens that they were among, because that man was in that city. He was coming out that city and he saw us and he realized, oh shit. And we said, you got one choice. You can let us in or you can go die with the rest of them. He made the right decision. Saved himself and his family. That's his story, not yours. Praise Yah. So in conclusion, praise Yah. It says, and they're in Israel in order to place Israel in their land. And they accomplished all the words which have been spoken to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's our forefathers. And the oath which had been sworn to give them and to their children and the land of Canaan. Yah's word will never change. Just trust it and believe it. Don't be deceived. When the truth comes to you, believe the truth, my sisters and brothers. And the children of Israel and the whole land of Canaan, and the children of Israel, the whole land of Canaan, and all that he had sworn to their ancestors, and Yahuwah gave them rest from those around them. And the children of Israel dwelt securely in their cities. Blessed be Yahuwah forever. Amen and amen. Now, brothers, this is how it is. Strengthen yourselves and let the hearts of all of you trust in Yahuwah and be of good courage. You know what good courage is? Y'all don't have no place for cowards. If you're afraid to take a stand, if you're afraid to fight for what's rightfully yours, then Yah says He's going to put you right there with the rest of the unbelievers and the whoremongers and the sorcerers and the adulterers and those that be of a curse to everything that is pure. That's what a coward's going to be. And I pray that this message is a message that gets you at least stimulated to start thinking about it. Again, don't confuse, activity for results, as the saying goes. As many people, I go to church and I go to this and I'm a part of this. Remember, Yeshua said these people came to him in Matthew chapter, 7, around by verse 21. And they went all these different things, religious things they had done. And they got before Elohim, talking about, I did this in your name and that in your name. All these wonderful, I even cast out devils. He said, get away from me, you lying, wicked ass devil. I ain't never knew you. So that's what he's going to say to a lot of you guys. That's what he's going to say to a lot of these people in your family who run out to these damn hellholes every Sunday. All Saturday and Wednesday, talking about that's my relationship with y'all, that's my commitment with you. Y'all don't give a damn about that. Who are you fighting? Or first of all, have you fought yourself? Have you fought yourself? Because your first enemy is within. Many of you haven't even dealt with yourself yet. You're so busy dealing with other things out there. You have never looked in the mirror and said, God damn, who is this monster? Who is this heathen? What have I allowed myself to become? So that's the first step. Now, once you're willing to take that step, then Yah can guide you and shape you and mold you and strengthen you and deliver you. And that's why this last part again, let's look what verse 16 says. He says, blessed be Yahuwah forever. Amen. Strengthen yourselves. In other words, these words are to strengthen you, my sisters and brothers. Amen. This message is for strengthening, not for criticizing, not for humiliating, not for degradation, not for isolation. It's damn sure and for integration. I'm going to make that clear. We're not trying to integrate with the heathens. We're supposed to be coming away from their asses and their traditions and their customs, like the filthy one that's coming up real soon called Easter and Palm Friday or Good Friday, Palm Sunday and Good Friday. We're not supposed to have anything to do with that foolishness. And if you do have something to do with it, then you're not Elohims. That's idolatry. That is worshiping the goddess of fertility. Isis. I think that's the daughter or mother of Nimrod, if my memory serves me correctly. I don't give a shit about the wicked devils, but I think that's who that is. And that's who you worship, the sun goddess, the goddess of fertility, Easter Sunday, Sunday Mass, Resurrection Sunday. But Yahshua, you should know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So strengthen yourselves in the truth, and let the hearts of all of you trust. Let the hearts of every last one of us trust. Remember, Yah said that his Rahut goes throughout the whole earth, looking to show himself strong show himself strong, strengthened inside of those whose heart he wants to be inside of you, to show himself strong, to make you powerful, make you beautiful, make you elegant, make you precious, make you valuable, highly esteemed in the kingdom, not amongst these heathens. So he said, I will strengthen you. He said, for all of those who let their hearts trust in Yahuwah, he said, those are the ones who are going to be encouraged. And letting your heart trust in Elohim means that you are willing to do the things your ancestors done, because that was required of them, and that's required of you. If you're not willing to make any sacrifice, just cut the silliness talking about, I belong to Elohim and Elohim belongs to me. I am his and he is mine. You think you must be talking to you in some kind of OJ's concert? Who you talking to Teddy Pendergrass? This ain't no Freddie Jackson love ballad here, brothers and sisters. This shit is life or death. You better get serious. Every time you turn off your R&B or your rap and open up the book and find out what real life is, what real romance looks like. Real romance means you're going to go out to the real dance. In other words, you're going to get in the battle and you're going to have a sword in one hand and a damn rifle in the other hand, and you're going to be going at it with both of them. Can you do that for Elohim? Can you do that to fulfill the promise of Elohim? The enemy ain't going no goddamn way just because you want him to go. The Canaanites didn't voluntarily leave. Their ass was right there. They had the land. They had all the wealth of the land. And they weren't about to give it up. Our people had to go and fight for it. Just like right now, these people are never going to give us any kind of, respect and embrace us and any kind of real rights that they plan to truly implement. Meg and Magog are going to turn the whole world against us. And by the way, just so you know who Magog is, that's all of Asia. That's the East Indians, talking about India, Pakistan, all them devils. That's all of China, I'm talking about them devils. And that's also Russia, those devils. All of those, that's all, that's all Asia. I mean, yes, that's all Asia. All of them, along with their European cousins from the West and from South America and North America and beyond Australia, they're all coming against you. And they're never going to accept your hand of friendship, you idiot. You're silly. Satan is not going to walk with the people of Elohim. How can two walk together except they agree? Satan is not looking in, building no what you would call alliances with the people of Israel. Are you kidding me? He wants to kill you. He wants to destroy you off the earth. And by God, he is doing it. But not to all of us. Praise Yah. But you're going to have to be strengthened. You're going to have to be in good courage. And you're going to have to be willing to make that change. Not yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Now. Well, I should say not tomorrow. You can't do anything about yesterday. Not tomorrow. Now. Keep on waiting. I got time. You little 20-something-year-old with your little cute asses. With your little masculine ass, so you think. Keep on waiting. Ultimately, one day you're going to look in the damn mirror and realize you 40, if y'all wills. And even if you 40, or even if you 30, you might think you 40 by the way you're going to feel. Or you can turn around, like many of us had to do. And many of us will always do. Again, I'm going to end this message saying, praise Yah. I'm going to end this message, saying to you before, as I've said to you many times before, praise Yah. There's a whole lot of things, people like myself can be doing on this Monday night. After a full 10-hour, 11-hour workday. But myself and many others, what we choose to do is come to you out of love, honor, and respect, to ask you to take some time to reflect and think about what's going to happen when you die and what you want to experience when that does happen. You can't make that decision in the grave. You have to make that decision above the ground where you are. And you can't wait. The days are short. The time is near. The enemy is preparing itself to kill you. That's why they were around there in the big old long line getting their guns. They're coming. I know many of you think they're not coming. I'm telling you, they're coming. They're coming. If the vaccine don't work, the bullets will. That's their mentality. Trust me on that. Sisters, you too. They're coming for you as well. You better come home to your brothers, your fathers, and your men. Those who will stand up and fight for you. And you strangers, you better walk the hell away from your kind while you still have time. Instead of trying to appease them. You're going to appease them unto their own destruction and your ass right along with them. You better come out. Like that man came out the gate and he saw the truth and he embraced that truth. You better come on out your gates, see this truth, the people, and Elohim, and know this is the time of the people of Israel. This is our time. Your time is done. And I'm strange, I'm talking about you Asians with your dumb asses. You're buying into this foolishness. All of a sudden, we're your enemies. Please. Your ass said never. You don't shop in our neighborhoods. You're disrespectful when we shop in your places. We've done everything. You don't live amongst us. You go live with your enemies who destroy your ass every opportunity they had. And you have the audacity to look down your nose at us. And now all of a sudden you want to make us your enemy. Well, you've always talked about us behind our backs. We always knew that you were too much of a fucking greedy dog that said in front of our faces because you wanted our nigger pennies. And you dumb niggas need to stop giving them your money. Because that's how they feel about you. They want your nigger pennies. And they're going to turn out to white dollars. And your dumb ass going to be sitting over there, broke, busted, and disgusted. Haven't heard that one in a while, have you? Man, that's what many of y'all right now. Every time you get some 2 nickels, you go run and give it to them. And they take it and go put it in the bank and start building more business to get more of your nigger pennies. And then laugh at you when they go home. Pretty much they laugh at you when you walk out. Might be laughing at you while you're there. Sister Kimberly Fraser was saying that. Some of you women are sitting there, they rubbing your feet, you fall asleep, they start talking in Vietnamese or in Japanese or Chinese, and they sitting there talking about your ass. But you don't understand their language, and you just there sleeping while that damn devil got your feet in his hand, probably putting some kind of goddamn spell, and you don't even know it. And then you walk out there, and the next day all hell breaks loose in your house or on your job, or you get robbed, some shit happened to you. You don't realize that damn witch doctor that you was sitting in their parlor had just cast a spell on your ass. And not only a spell on your ass, the spell works so well that you're gonna go back and go back and go back and go back. You're gonna keep coming back. How about that? What kind of spell is that? Oh, I need my this done. You can't do it yourself? Or they do it so much better. Does that really matter? When they despise you, they only tolerate you because you have something that they want. How does that not make you a spiritual whore for them? Well, maybe more of them are John. And yeah, you are the whore. You got something that they want, and they're going to give you what you think you need to get what they want. I think that makes sense. Anyway, that's enough. Praise Yah, my brothers and sisters. I love you. I'm just bringing forward the truth. You do with this what you choose to do with this. All right? That's your decision. All right? I already made mine by bringing it forward. You make yours by bringing it forward as well. Or not. DFG, talk to you soon. Bye now.